Hi everybody, I'm Michael. I'm a landscape architect and environmentalist, and today we're going to be talking about the Ficus Elastica Tineke. So, you ready to dig in? Let's grow! These spectacular Ficus Tineke go by the botanical name Ficus Elastica Tineke. And the plant also goes by the name taniki rubber tree, and the rubber moniker was given to to this genus way back when, during, I think it was like in the 1920s or so, to help build rubber or get rubber. The rubber comes actually from latex that's produced by this plant. If you cut into the stem or break off a branch inadvertently, and I did this by accident. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a beast, as you guys know. If you break off a branch, these didn't do it. But if you break off a branch from the stem, you can sometimes see this milky sap come out. Don't get it on your skin because it can be a problem, because it can be an irritant. But that milky sap is actually a latex product that can be refined into rubber. So that's where these plants get the name, the common name of the Ficus Tineke rubber plant or the rubber tree. We have a giant one here behind you that I did a video already on the Ficus burgundy, which is enormous, and these, by the way, are tropical. They can get enormous growing out here in South Florida. We had one behind our Miami Shores home, the burgundy, and it cleared 60, 70 feet by 80 feet wide, massive trees. But they're also well suited for growing indoors if you know what, if you do the right things. There's also another ficus that we'll do a video soon about, and that's this beauty, the ruby, which is kind of similar. It's kind of a blend between the burgundy and the taniki, but the taniki is because it gets some of this pink and deep burgundies that the burgundy ficus has, but it also gets some of this light pink edging that and modeling that the taniki has. But the taniki is really a showstopper of a plant because of these almost painted on leaves. This is just like an artist painting. They're just so pretty. New growth will kind of come out pinkish with some little light like red speckles into it, and then it mutates and will soften, so you'll sometimes have just little red margins on the edges. But it's just a beautiful, beautiful house plant. Our plants are a combination of soil grown and leca grown. And in a minute, when we'll go into plant care, we'll talk more about that. These two were actually purchased online. I think we got them through Etsy about a year ago. We did a video on this, so please check it out. I think we posted it in December of last year. And they were just little itty bitties. They were grown in soil. And what we did was a video on because they came in two came in the container. So we thought, hey, would it be cool to make two plants? And we took a risk and said, let's plant this in leca, and they took off. So what we'll do now is rotate over, and we'll go into plant care. Your tanikis want to be grown in high light. And what do I mean by that? Many people will say you need bright and direct, and we're all over the charts on YouTube with this, but I always refer back to U of F IFAS and their standards of low, medium, and high. And by highlight, that's what these tanikis want, and all of our ficus that we have in our home. They want to be north of 500-foot candles. These can do a little bit below that and still do okay. But when we put our babies here closer to our west-facing window, about 3 feet off the edge of the west-facing window, and we do have an overhang, but we were getting north of 500-foot candles. These started to really do well. The thing is, and what I'd mentioned in prior when talking about the plant characteristics, is that these were grown in soil when we purchased them from Etsy just over a year or so ago. And these have tripled in size, definitely formed like a woody trunk. But we transferred these into leca, and leca, we've done plenty of videos on that, but leca is a light aggregate clay pebble, and it is a semi-hydroponic way of growing. And that's a funny a funny thing about the ficus, because on watering, you typically want your ficus to dry out between waterings, and we watered this one in soil. It's in a 3-gallon container once a week, but you don't have to. You can even stretch that out. You want it. This is a well-drained mix, so the water kind of rushes through it, and you just want to test with the one finger, the 2-knuckle method, where you stick your finger in and feel if it's dry. But you want the water to flush through, because if you overwater, you may get some of this browning tips on the plant. I'll rotate so you can see. Sometimes this can also be from getting direct sun, but it's most likely indicative of getting a little bit of too much water, so they don't want to be soggy. But what's funny about that, and what I want to mention, is that these guys are growing in semi-hydroponic, which means their roots are getting very close to the bottom of these leca clay pebbles, and that's very wet, and they are doing fine. The thing at first is when we put them in there, they were kind of leaning a little bit, because it's not like soil where because these get, this trunk gets thick and it gets heavy, and the plant would lean a little bit. But after these little cuties shot out their roots, they started to stabilize, and they're doing fine. And so it's a totally different way of growing and maintaining your plant. They all want, like I said earlier, high light, north of 500 foot candles. You do want to rotate them. You can see that this one here, we had a little bit too close to, we didn't rotate it enough, and it's leaning. So when we go back to our west-facing window, we'll put her there, so we'll put her facing away, so she'll start to arch back. We do sometimes move them around the home. We've had this in my office for a while, but we always make sure that we're getting 500 foot candles. And you can get a light meter. We've done some videos on that too, and you can test your plants, so you know that low, medium, and high. You get these high 500 foot candles or higher. So for watering on this one, we mentioned that you do it once a week, let it pour through. But ficuses tend to want to have a little bit of moisture. And what we have done, which is a kind of a unique thing I haven't seen a lot of folks do, is that at the bottom of our container, the outer container, we put leca. And this puppy just went bonkers, and this is the leca grown down here, and it's just an inch or so down here in the overflow. And that we feel is kind of like when some folks say you want to add some humidity to your plants, you put a tray of pebbles. Well, we're doing that within our container, and we just get the container a little bit wider than the pot that it's growing in, and that moisture we feel is helping keep the humidity a little bit higher than what normal household humidity would be for a home, which is around 40%. So we think we're getting a little bit higher humidity here. Same thing's happening with this, because the leca is off-gassing all that water as they communicate the water from the bottom of the cash pot here. So obviously, with the roots coming out of the bottom of this one, we're going to have to cut away the plastic and repot her, because she's kind of outgrown this. And so we're going to we'll do that. Maybe we'll post another video on that one later. But for your Ficus Tineke grown in leca, once you establish it in leca, you first want to just fill the bottom third with water after you put your plant in the leca medium and in the net container. You want to put your roots not at the bottom if you're getting a new one in a rooted cutting. You don't want to put it at the very bottom of the leca. You want to put it up here. And you can refer back to other videos on other plants that we've done that. And in the container, you just want to add, when you first put your plant, just plain tap water that sat out for 24 hours in the bottom third. And then you want to wait and see if it's close to a window and you live in a very hot area and it's getting a lot of bright or high light. Check once a week to see if it's drawing down too fast. You normally can wait up to 2 weeks on checking these to see if they've drawn down the water. And what we prefer to do for ours, and they've responded very well to this, is that 1 week, if let's say ours sometimes draw down pretty quick in a week, we'll come back, add some water. The following week, we will add water with a liquid fertilizer. We use a 20-20-20 mix. That way we don't build up too much concentration of fertilizer. You will, over time, and you'll see this on a lot of them, start seeing salts. And we'll zoom in so you can see this. But these guys here, these salts will develop on the leca, and you can flush that out in the sink. And we recommend doing that you can go up to every month and flush these, but a lot of people like to prefer to do it every 2 weeks. But we've gone both up to a month. Oh, I did it again. I'm so sorry. I keep doing this. I'm such a beast. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't mean to hurt you. I don't. But anyways, well look. Oh, but she's got new growth coming out, so she's got a new one. So I took one off here. I took another one off here today. Oh my goodness, I need to put them back on the shelf before I denude all the plants. I'm so sorry. Ay, ay, ay. Anyways, so for temperature, now to speak to temperature for your plants, you want to keep them in typical home AC is fine. Down here in Miami, we always have the AC on because it's miserable out all the time and super humid, which is normally great for these outdoors. But in here, in home, like I said earlier, the AC will dehumidify, but temperatures ranging from anywhere from 68 to 78, these are going to do fine, no problem whatsoever. The main thing with the taniki to keep them thriving is highlight. The watering, you'll probably figure out as you go. If you see that the edges are browning, or you notice some strange odors if you have them growing in soil, you're probably overwatering. So always use a well-drained mix. I didn't talk about that for the soil type. You want to do an 80-20. 80, we like Miracle Grow indoor potting mix because it kind of helps control fungus gnats. And we mix that with some perlite. But we've also been testing adding a little bit of worm castings, just a little bit, to add a little more nutrient content. And so we'll be updating our soil profiles in the future, and we'll let you know how it's going. But they'll do fine in an 80-20. We've done many videos to that on the plants we have. So I think I touched base on all the needs for the taniki. Please, if you have any questions, please just drop them down in the comment box below. And for some of you who've been asking, I wanted to show you, you've been asking about from our earlier video when we purchased these off of Etsy, how they're doing. Well, here they are, and you can see from the video they've tripled in size. They're doing great. They're super happy. It was a risk because we have never grown tanikis in leca, but actually they can do it. They do very, very well. Main takeaway again, just make sure you shoot for highlight. One more thing I forgot. The plant, ours have been great on not getting any pests, but they're known to get spider mites. We have not had that. We've had them on other plants of ours, but not the Ficus Tineke, nor the ruby or the burgundy. So they're pretty low maintenance in that regard. So now we're going to summarize all this with written care instructions for you, and then come back and summarize at the end. We hope you enjoyed the video, and please stick around or consider subscribing to our channel because we're going to keep posting more and more videos, content on interior plants, exterior plants, and gardening advice, and also garden design advice to help you with your needs. All right, until next video, see you later.
If you found value in this video, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. We post weekly. Thanks.